Why Apuleius' ass is better than your own. Lucius Apuleius was born around 124 AD in Midorus, Numidia. Apuleius grew up and educated himself while in Carthage as well as Athens, and would travel through the Mediterranean, and while traveling he would become interested in the cult of Isis. Apuleius settles a bit in Rome to study his Greek and Latin literature, but then again he would leave to travel to Africa. And while in Africa, he would eventually meet his wife, and just after this, he would write his most famous piece of work, The Golden Ass. Apuleius and his wife lived very happily in Africa, but unfortunately, this did not last too long. Due to his affiliation with the cult of Isis, many people accused him of performing witchcraft, such as an example of him making his wife fall in love with him. He would stand in trial for most of these accusations, and during the trial of when he made his wife fall in love with him, he wrote one of his more famous pieces, the Apologia, or the Defense. The Golden Ass, or Apuleius' Metamorphoses, was written soon after he'd published Apologia. The Golden Ass was about a familiar boy by a peculiar name, Lucius, very similar to his own. Throughout Lucius' adventures, he experiments with many magical and mystical elements, such as he did himself, and at the end he does in fact turn into an ass. By definition, The Golden Ass was considered the first quote-unquote novel, and would inspire millions of other novel writers in the future to write their stories. He's also responsible for the creation of a style of writing called the serial-comic style of writing. This style would mix both serious and satirical natures within the work. Works such as the Decameron by Giovanni Boccaccio and Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift use this type of satirical writing while still having a more serious undertone underneath it. Many others were also inspired by Apuleius' story, The Golden Ass, such as Carlo Collodi, the author of The Adventures of Pinocchio. In The Adventures of Pinocchio, there was a very prominent theme of magic, and Pinocchio was even turned into an ass. Claudia later said that he had been inspired by Apuleius' works. Another very major inspiration from Apuleius is William Shakespeare. He had gone on record saying that many of his poems, short stories, and plays had been inspired by Apuleius' ideas and works. As one of the first novels, Apuleius' The Golden Ass has influenced millions of other books. Anything involving any sort of magical preference to it, or anything having serious overtones with a very satirical undertone, is technically inspired by The Golden Ass. Without The Golden Ass, we wouldn't have any of the major fictional books that we take for granted today and read on almost a daily basis.